don't buy new cars, I don't buy brand names, I go to Goodwill for my clothes. I like to save money, I like to find bargains, it's the life I chose. I throw nothing away, I'll find a use another day for all this junk I keep. My neighbors all hate me, they abuse and berate me, 'cause I like doing it cheap. Yeah, I like doing it cheap. Welcome to another episode of Doing It Cheap.
Well, how y'all doing? It's PawPaw again. And I guess I need to tell y'all that I got this happy hemp stuff sitting here on purpose to remind you about gethappyhemp.com. If you use Doing It Cheap, you get a 30% discount. Gethappyhemp.com. The happy hemp products are they're gummies and stuff like that that's got CBD oil in them. Some of them's got melatonin to help you sleep at night. And I swear by it, they got a pain roll on it, got menthol and CBD in it. I rubbed it on my knees and stuff. Boy, I'm ready to go for the day. It's good stuff. It really is. And so I just wanted to give a shout out because that company, you know, it is an American owned company, and their products are all American made. The hemp plant is grown in Colorado. The candy factory is on the east coast here somewhere. And the CBD oil is infused into the candy at their lab in southern Florida. So you get a chance, go to www.gethappyhemp.com and check out what they offer. Make sure now that you use the discount code Doing It Cheap and you'll get 30% off. Anyway, they do send me stuff occasionally, you know, like some gummy bears or peach rings or whatever, you know, because I tell y'all about them. So I want y'all to know that. But even if they didn't, I'd still buy the product. It's good stuff. Anyhow, we was talking about this last time I made this little jewel right here video where I made this chain choker, brush puller, whatever, and snapped the chain to show you what we come up with here. Now, this one right here works fine. Pulling smaller stuff. This is 2-inch square tubing. This particular piece is 5 1/4 inches long. It's a piece of scrap I had laying around, and that's what I used, and it works fine. What didn't work, if you watched that video, was I kept popping this little chain right here. And this is just chain that I had picked it up at a auction house, pennies on the dollar, and that's about what it's worth, is pennies on the dollar. I had to buy the hook separate, but I had this chain, so I thought I'd try it. And it worked fine on little stuff. But grab a hold of something substantial and pop goes the weasel. So I said, I gotta go bigger. Well, I found my log chain. As you can see, there's a little bit of difference in size between them two chains right there. So anyway, I found my log chain, and I realized, of course, that my clevis hook wasn't going to go through it. Oh, excuse me. So I went to the local metal dealership, metal supply, whatever you want to call it, and said, have you got a piece of 3x3 tubing, or even a 2x3? I just need a scrap. He said, how long? I said, anything between a foot or less. He said, here, take this one right here. Well, I said, let me pay you for it. And it's in a scrap pile. I'll take it. You spend enough money here. I said, well, thank you. So by golly, this is a thick walled. I bet you that's almost 3/16 inch thick. I don't know. But that's damn heavy. It's probably 10 pounds or better. Now I could cut it off. I've got a power hacksaw. I could cut this off right here. But I got thinking, if I use this, maybe this would really stay in place when I lay it at the base of the tree until I get the chain taut. So I'm gonna run it like it is. I drilled a couple of holes in here. I think I used 7/16 bolts. And I went ahead and tack welded the nuts to the bolts so that they won't just accidentally unscrew. And while I was at it, I put a little bead of weld right there. And let's see, I hit it right here too. Anyhow, we're going to take this out there when it quits raining. And we're going to see how this. I'll bet you I don't break this chain. Idea being now that you wrap this around whatever you're wanting to pull, then come back and hook on one of them links, and when you pull this thing tight around a tree, around its stump, around whatever you want to pull, then this will pinch down on it. So we're gonna take it out there and see what I do with it. One old boy says, "You need to strap the truck. Your truck's kind of weak." When I was pulling with this, I was like, no, I just don't want to spin my tires on the grass and cause ruts in the pasture and all that. I was just trying to ease it out. But grabbed a whole big old stump ball, or a big old root ball of a privet hedge. Oh no, it didn't want to come. I got out there with a tractor and front end loader and popped it out of the ground later though. But anyhow, let's go out there and see how this comes about. So this piece was free. I bought 2 bolts. I cut a few links out of the chain I already had. This logging chain, I think I caught that on sale at Harbor Freight maybe for 20 bucks. So. Anyhow, let's go out there and do something, even if it's wrong. And we've got brush puller, tree puller, I don't know, stump jerker, whatever, version 2.0. And I'm going to tell y'all now, I apologize that you're going to be watching me out there or that you watched me out there pulling out some stuff that I'd already knocked loose with the front end loader on the old tractor. But just wanted to get out there and try this thing out, make sure it's going to work the way I envisioned it. And it did. So after using this, and this is probably, God, I bet that thing weighs a good 20 pounds, 18 anyway. I decided that I don't need the full length of this. You know, the original, my version 1.0 was this little piece of 2x2 square tubing here, about 5.5, 5.25 inches long. Well, that's about what I'm going to make here. I don't really see the need to have that thing way out like that, except to be able to see it. But I can see it just fine. That's why I painted yeller. Pawpaw, now why did you use yeller when wouldn't fluorescent orange or red or whatever work better? Well, there's a very logical explanation for that, because I ain't got none. Because I have yellow. I don't have any other color. So guess what we're using? We're using yellow. And it's going to work just fine. And I don't have my vise moved from the house yet. So I am just going to have to rig up another way to hold this while I cut it with a power hacksaw. I want y'all to know that I really do appreciate all of you that's been subscribing to my channel. Hopefully here in a couple of months I'll hit that 100K mark. And that'd be pretty exciting for an old man like me. Hitting 100,000 subscribers on YouTube doesn't put any money in your pocket. It is strictly just a thing to stroke your ego, and you get the silver play button. So, but I'd like to have it, you know, especially old man my age. There ain't a lot of old farts out there that get 100,000, and I ain't got it yet neither. But I'm working on it, and we'll get there. We'll eat this apple one bite at a time. The main reason I wanted to do it, and some of you have already heard this, but some of you are new to my channel, you haven't. I started this channel about 8 years ago, something like that. And my wife, and the whole idea behind me making this channel here was to be able to, at that time I wasn't getting to spend any time around my grandsons. It seemed like everybody was always busy, too busy for this, too busy for that. So, and my son-in-law is a heck of a young man in his own right, but he doesn't have the time to show the boys a lot of things to do, and you know, some old-fashioned stuff, just like rigging up a cane pole. So the whole idea was to make this channel so I could pass on valuable knowledge to them boys. And so that's how I come up with it. And I always like saving money, so that's where the idea of doing it cheap came from. So what I'm doing here is I'm just making something where I can hold this thing somewhat in place while I use the power hacksaw on it. So y'all give me just a minute and it might make sense to you. Still move, but you know, it don't do much of that. All right, let's cut this thing off of here. Yeah, I was out there wrestling with this heavy thing. I'm down there and it's muddy and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, gosh darn, this thing's a pain in the rear end to fool with, being heavy like that. So we're just gonna try to lighten our load. Like the eagle. Lighten their load, take it easy. Alright, let's see if I can have any luck with this. Hey now, behave. What in the world, in the name of Joe Biden, have I done? I don't know. I'm going to have to watch a video, figure out where that piece of rubber came from. Oh, I see where it came from now. Let me unplug this before I start sticking my fingers where I shouldn't. It's a rubber belt that goes around this wheel right here that your blade rides on. Well, I hope they've got replacement belts for that. Sound like an idea for another video? All right. Oh yeah, that's a lot easier to handle than all this. All right, well, PawPaw's brush puller, tree puller, root snatcher, brush grubber, whatever, version 2.0. There you go. With a log chain. That ain't gonna break. Oh, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Remember, check out the Happy Hemp stuff. That's what keeps me going, is go to www.gethappyhemp.com. Use Doing It Cheap for a discount code. Save 30% every day, every night, all the time. Save 30% using Doing It Cheap. Let's see, who else? Crazy Richard's Peanut Butter. Good old American made. Really like that Crazy Richard's Peanut Butter. It's made out of pure peanuts. The Happy Hemp is all made in the United States, and the hemp is grown in the United States and all that. Candy's made in the United States. I did a video on some suspenders that they've made in the UK, and the snaps started coming loose on them. So I was looking at them hold-up suspenders, and I contacted them folks to see if they'd, send me a set so I could demonstrate for you. I ain't heard nothing out of them except a bunch of ads on YouTube. And I'm gonna have to go find out if they've got a replacement belt for that. I sure hope Joe Biden ain't in charge of that company. Folks, y'all have a wonderful day and a better tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Oh, my goodness me.
Yeah, I like doing it cheap.